Hey everyone, it's Brian again. For the last 3 months I've been traveling Europe, but this hasn't been just any vacation. I've been providing humanitarian aid to Ukrainian refugees. 1 month was at the Polish-Ukrainian border, 1 month in Lviv, Ukraine, and the last month has been here in Budapest, Hungary, where I've been running a 60-bed Ukrainian refugee shelter. Now, we've been working a lot, but occasionally, every few days, I might get a few hours off, and I've had the opportunity to actually see most of the city. So that's what this video is about what you can see and do here in Budapest, Hungary. Check it out. Budapest has over 130 thermal baths. Behind me is one of the main ones. I'm gonna go check it out. Well, that was fun. Except now I can't open my phone with my fingerprint reader because my hands, they're pruned. No trip to Budapest is complete without a riverboat cruise, or at least that's what I hear. So I'm gonna go on a cruise right during the golden hour, 1 hour before sunset, and see the sights. The sunset cruise from yesterday was pretty cool, but now I want to see the nighttime cruise where the lights from the building are really supposed to pop. Well, there you have it. You have the sunset or the after dark cruise. Both are amazing. Personally, I like after dark, but you get to pick either one or both. Symbolized by a literal iron curtain behind me is the House of Terror. It's a museum that documents the atrocities of the Nazi and Soviet regimes on Hungary and is a memorial to the victims. This tank and the wall of photos of the victims is the only thing that's allowed to be videographed or photographed in the entire museum. If you want to see the exhibits, you'll have to come for yourself, but some of the highlights include the basement where they housed political prisoners, as well as propaganda films from the Soviet era, which made me realize why the Soviet Union fell. Hey, let's face it, those propaganda films were really boring. Here we have the Dahani Street Synagogue. It's famous for its Moorish-style architecture. However, we can't go in today because it's the Shabbat, or the Jewish holy day. Of note, it does have one of the higher entry fees in the city, at almost $20. Budapest is actually comprised of two cities. On the west side of the Danube is Buda, and on the east side is Pest. The Gellert Hill Chapel is a Catholic church built into the walls in a cave network. It previously served as a monastery and a World War II field hospital. Behind me sits Buda Castle, first completed in 1265. It really saw an expansion in the mid-18th century, but today serves mostly as a site for Hungarian museums. Before the famous Hungarian-American magician Harry Houdini died, he had his brother promise that after Harry died, he would burn and destroy all of his possessions in order to keep the mystique of Harry Houdini alive forever. But what did his brother do? Yep, you guessed it. He turned it into a museum in order to make some money. Behind me is the entrance to Dracula's Labyrinth. Apparently, about 1,000 years ago, Vlad Tepes really annoyed the king. Apparently he started a war he shouldn't have, and the king imprisoned him into this dark labyrinth for 10 years. Today we have the opportunity to go into the same labyrinth that Count Dracula lurked. It's a little bit dark, a little bit light, and all scary. Well, I find myself back here at the Opera House. Yeah, I've never been to an opera before, so let me check it out. It's time to get cultured. have it, the Hungarian State Opera House. It was my first time at an opera, and it was surprisingly really fun. There was a lot of singing in Italian, but luckily there were subtitles in English and Hungarian. And of course, at the end, yes, a fat lady sang. One thing that Budapest is really famous for are the ruined bars. After World War II, when a lot of the buildings were bombed out and destroyed, the local kids would gather in the ruins of these buildings that were abandoned and created their own little bars. They would get cheap beer, come here with their friends and get drunk. Over the years, it became more commercialized. And we have one of the more famous bars behind me, which is Simpla. It's a great place to come and visit, check it out, overpay for some drinks, and really check out the music and the local life. After you've been here, go check out one of the local bars where the locals go, and you'll actually find places where beer is cheaper than water. In what is possibly the smallest of the many statues in Budapest is Fokukac, or main worm that overlooks the river. If you get bored of walking or taking public transportation in Budapest, you can always ride a booby. The traditional spirit or drink here in Hungary is palinka, and yes, there's a museum to it, where you can even make your own homemade palinka. The traditional street food in Hungary is called langos. Langos means flamed in the Hungarian language. It used to be extremely popular, but after the communist takeover after World War II, it fell out of favor because there just wasn't the methods and means in order to produce it. However, starting in the 1950s, 60s, and into the 70s, it became more popular again, but in the 80s it fell out of favor as a street food due to hot dogs and hamburgers making a massive resurgence. However, tradition took over again in the 1990s, and it continues to be one of the favorite street foods of Hungary. About 5 kilometers northwest of downtown Budapest is an underground network of caves where on a hot summer day you can go explore in much cooler temperatures. Underground, the temperatures are about 10 degrees Celsius or 50 degrees Fahrenheit year-round. There's 2 options. You can either do the walking tour or the adventure tour. Want to take a guess which one I'm doing? The descriptive sign is all in Hungarian, but we can still see the vast network of caves.
Yeah, it's slow purposely. To make
Actually, it looks like the monster.
Well, that caving was quite an experience. Got to get down there, crawling deep into the earth, a little dirty, but I gotta catch a bus and get back to the city. Without a doubt, Fricsi Papa has the best authentic Hungarian food in all of Budapest. Hopefully there's something in this video that has inspired you to come here to Budapest, Hungary and check it out for yourself. Thanks for watching, and as always, if you have any questions, please comment down below.